What started as an innocent-sounding answer to a journalist's question about the future of Israel quickly turned into a crystal-clear confession of Zionism's long-standing mission to dominate, subjugate, and colonize every inch of Palestine under the banner of the so-called Promised Land. And the war criminal himself, Benjamin Netanyahu, isn't even bothering to sugarcoat it anymore.
מה אנחנו עושים כאן? אנחנו כאן בשליחות של דורות. יש דורות של יהודים שחלמו שנגיע לכאן, ויש דורות של יהודים שיבואו אחרינו. אז אתה שואל אם אני מרגיש שאני בשליחות היסטורית ורוחנית, התשובה היא כן.
אני לא רוצה לסבך אותך לסיום עם תיק 6000, אבל...
מה זה?
זה הוויז'ן שלי, זה אחד הדברים שחלמתי עליהם, מפת הארץ המובטחת.
יפה.
הגיע הזמן, קוראים לזה ירושלם. אני לא נותן את זה לך, אני מעניק את זה לך כדי שתיתן את זה לרדך שרה.
תודה רבה.
אתה מתחבר לחזון?
מאוד.
באמת?
מאוד.
בישראל השלמה.
It is no secret that
The arrogance is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Meanwhile, Arab governments are now scrambling with statements of outrage. But let's not forget, these are the same leaders who've pressured resistance groups in Lebanon and Palestine to lay down their arms. Egypt's foreign ministry says Netanyahu's words provoke instability and reject peace. Qatar's foreign ministry calls them arrogant and dangerous. Saudi Arabia has gone as far as completely rejecting the settlement and expansionist projects of the occupation. All strong words, but if this is an eye-opener, it's about 75 years too late. After this little performance, it should be crystal clear, even to the most naive Arab official, that their appeasement policy is a ticking time bomb. Netanyahu doesn't want peace, and he certainly won't stop once he's swallowed all of Palestine. He'll send Mossad to stir up trouble in Jordan and Egypt, create chaos, then recycle his favorite lie, Israel is defending itself, as cover to grab more land. And all the while, journalists will be blocked, evidence will be buried, and Israel will pretend they're the innocent party. It's the same playbook over and over. The only ones who seem to really get it are the younger generation, like this young man who recently obliterated a Zionist's talking points live on air. Before I play that clip, please like the video so others can see it and support us by subscribing to the channel. God bless you.
Why you shouldn't support Israel, because that's what they're doing, right?
I do support Israel.
Okay, so why do you support a country that is killing innocent 5-year-old girls?
It's not that they're... Okay.
It is that they're killing them. You could, like I said, you could literally go see a video on the internet of Israel dropping bombs on an elementary school, and then they are inflamed, they're in fire, and they're falling to pieces. Meanwhile, there's the figures of children running around in the school that's on fire. That's what you support, and you're avoiding that fact.
I'm not avoiding that fact.
So then address it head on. How can you support a country that is doing that?
Do you support the United States?
Do I support the United States? I'll answer your question after you answer my question.
Well, no, it's a legitimate question, because...
It's a question that is being used as a deflection away from what I'm asking you. You have not addressed the substance of this conversation the whole time you've been on here, and this is what happens every single time I get a pro-Israel Zionist in this live. Y'all don't answer the questions, y'all don't address reality, y'all just try to weasel your way through the facts, because for whatever reason, you think you have a moral obligation to support an apartheid, genocidal state. It's insane to me. It should be common sense that we should not, that we should not be supporting these things. It's obvious. It's so obvious. Manufactured stage 5 famine onset by Israeli blockades on food and water? Shouldn't support Israel. Wiping out and killing all of the remaining Al Jazeera press members in Gaza 2 days after they pass legislation to ethnically cleanse and annex the rest of Gaza? Shouldn't support Israel. You know, like for instance, I'll frame this in a different sense, and hopefully we could have you understand here. Okay, Russia and Ukraine. Imagine if Russia passed legislation to take control over the totality of Ukraine, and then systemically starved the Ukrainians for 4 months to weaken them by blocking trade and water routes into the country, specifically dropped bombs on hospitals, schools, and churches, and took out all of the remaining journalists on the strip in press tents.
Well,
would you ever support Russia if they did those things to Ukraine?
No, did Ukraine attack Russia and threaten to kill all Russians?
Oh, so now you're saying Ukraine as a whole. So you think that all Palestinians are culpable for what Hamas has said?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so then a counter question would not be, did Ukraine say these things? Because when you say Ukraine, you'd indicate all Ukrainians.
I mean, did the Ukrainian government say, hey, let's unalive all the Russians, let's attack them at a festival and take them hostage and kill their babies?
Assuming that they did, would you still support Russia if they did all of those things to the innocent Ukrainians?
I would think that Ukraine would no longer have any sort of viable claim to be right and keep their land and keep their government.
So you do indeed think that the innocent Palestinians are culpable for the statements and actions of some Hamas members?
No.
Okay, well then why did you just tell me that the innocent Ukrainians would be culpable and responsible for the actions of some members within the Ukrainian government? Because you just told me that Russia would be in the wrong for systemically starving and killing innocent Ukrainians if their government didn't launch threats against Russians or attacks on Russians, but now you're telling me if some...
Arab leaders keep clinging to this fantasy that if they tone down resistance, Israel will somehow tone down its aggression. Spoiler, it won't. They're sabotaging themselves. And here's something that makes this even darker. Sharon Halevi, wife of former IDF chief of staff and war criminal Herzi Halevi, let slip in a podcast that her husband knew about October 7th ahead of time.
והוא יצא מאוד מוקדם, זאת אומרת ממש הרבה לפני 7. ואז הוא נשק את המזוזה ואמר לי, עזה תחרב.
וואו.
אלה שתי המילים שהוא אמר, לא מזמן הזכרתי לו את זה, כי אנחנו מתחילים עכשיו קצת לאבד, והוא לא זכר שהוא אמר את זה כמובן. ואני נורא נבהלתי כשהוא אמר את זה, כי אני ידעתי שזה נכון.
Think about what that implies. Even Donald Trump, one of Netanyahu's loudest cheerleaders, has admitted it's wrong for the global press to be shut out of Gaza. When even Trump can see through the charade, you know the facade is cracking.
Will you pressure Israel to allow journalists into Gaza to cover the humanitarian efforts the U.S. is pursuing? And
I'd like to see that happen.
I
would like to see it happen. I would be very fine with journalists going in. It's a very dangerous position to be in, as you know, if you're a journalist. But I would like to see it.
What these Arab leaders won't face is painfully obvious to anyone who's been paying attention, especially those who have risked their lives resisting Tel Aviv's war machine. While Arab capitals play ostrich, ordinary people inside Israel are waking up to the truth and turning against Netanyahu in growing numbers. His police, meanwhile, spent the week cracking down on Israelis who dared to draw attention to the genocide in Gaza in Haifa.
כלום! היא ביקשה שלא לצלם אותה! לא עשתה כלום! אתם סתם עוצרים אנשים! היא לא עשתה כלום! הוא מהבנים שלה ורצה לצלם אותה!
יאללה, בלי ויכוחים! לקרדה, שלום, יאללה!
יופי, עבודה יפה! יופי!
קדימה, לא להפריע להם! לא להפריע לשוטרים!
And this isn't just happening in the Middle East. Resistance is alive here in Britain too. Activists camping out, holding sit-ins, refusing to let Netanyahu's crimes fade from the headlines. Yet, in a staggering display of hypocrisy, the same Britain that claims it will recognize a Palestinian state in a few months is arresting anti-Israel protesters left and right.
Free, free Palestine! 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 Free, free Palestine!
The US is just as bad. Doctors for Palestine are being hauled off in cuffs while pro-Israel voices cheer on the slaughter with total impunity.
With US law, with US money, with genocidal rhetoric of our politicians and our ruling class. any human being capable of thinking or feeling stand by in our seat.
I didn't hear the warning star. I'm hard of hearing.
I am also hard of hearing. Very hard of hearing from the war.
I had MS. I had multiple sclerosis.
And that's why, my friends, this moment matters. Netanyahu's arrogance is now out in the open. Arab leaders are still playing dumb, and the so-called champions of democracy in the West are showing their true colors, cracking down on truth-tellers while letting war crimes slide. This isn't just politics anymore, it's a moral line in the sand. We either speak up now, or we watch an entire people get erased while the world looks the other way. So here's what I'm asking. Don't just watch this, share it, send it to everyone who still believes the propaganda, and let them see the truth for themselves. Hit that like button so this message can cut through the censorship, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the growing chorus that refuses to be silent. Because if we don't push back now, the next generation will inherit a world where genocide is just another headline, and I'll be damned if we let that happen. God bless you.